Hello and welcome back to another video today here again on Forza Horizon 5 to take a look at what is basically the only brand new vehicle in Series 10, excluding the Hot Wheels expansion, of course, which is this Extreme E thing. So, for a bit of fun, I quickly set up a 3-lap race around the scrambly off-road circuit. So, for a quick bit of fun, I set up a 3-lap race in the Extreme E cars, which is a category in Forza now, which is quite cool. It means you can just have these on the track, but with a full grid of AI, just to, well, get a glimpse of all of the other cars as we go around. This one, of course, is buyable from the auto show for a massive 700,000 credits, which actually, considering Forza's economy, is quite cheap, really. The remaining 9 that you can see in the background here will be available through the festival playlist over the next 4 weeks, but they are all essentially the same vehicle, the Odyssey 21 that we're driving here, just with the different teams' liveries. This one, of course, being the Hummer, and, well, you can see all of the others behind. This one's full name is, in fact, are you ready? I'm going to breathe in for this one. The 2022 Extreme E number 99 Chip Ganassi Racing GMC Hummer EV. I think that's all of it. It has an all-electric 536 horsepower and 1,016 newton-meters of torque, and weighs a massive 1,780 kilos, although it didn't actually feel that heavy driving it here, from what I thought it would feel like. I mean, it's a big car, but it was quite nimble. It is, of course, all-wheel drive, and its stock PI is at A-Class 748. So it's not as high as I thought it would be. It's not as high-performing as I thought it would be. Not as fast. The acceleration's there, and it feels lighter than it is, but it's not quick. So, although we have the older Hummer in the game, this is technically the first GMC all-electric Hummer, as one of the other Extreme E cars is the first Cupra we've seen as well. So I would love to see a normal Hummer EV, the GMC Hummer EV that they're making, and some more Cupras, because we've kind of got them in the Formula E type thing, but not as actual cars, which is a bit odd. You might remember in Horizon 4, when Toyota wasn't in the game and there was that whole big thing about it, they had some Toyota racing trucks. So I think often the race division is a separate thing to the company. Like, these are all the same car. It's not actually a Hummer, they just sort of put their name on the side. So I think maybe it's still not possible to license things like that, even if they've managed to license these. But yeah, it's a bit odd getting the Extreme E, Hummer and Cupra before we've had any others. Anyway, first impressions, it drives pretty well, and was quite a lot of fun whizzing around the Baja circuit here with the AI. The best feature of this car, though, is gull-wing doors. The interior is also pretty nice. They've also modelled on the dash there the light, which I think tells you whether it's safe to get in and out or something, or to touch the metalwork. Something to do with that. And it has many racing switches, as you would expect. So, despite being designed for extreme off-roading, I've brought the Extreme E car to the festival for 5 laps to see what the best time it can set on my leaderboard, which is mostly just because it's become a tradition and I've kind of got all of the other new cars on here, so it's the only way we can compare it to anything. Now, the Extreme E starts at A-Class 748, which is actually exactly the same PI number as the 20-something or other 2018 Audi TT RS. That did a 111.2, so let's see how close the Extreme E can get. Now, as you might have seen, it just clonked a wall there. It did understeer a bit here on the tarmac track. The weight did become a lot more apparent, and it did kind of want to go straight on a lot more than it did off-road. Off-road, I think the back kind of kicked out and helped pull it round, but on tarmac, where it has a bit more grip, that wasn't really happening. apart from the final high-speed corner where you really had to chuck it in and, well, let it slide in order to turn tight enough to not hit the wall on the outside. Like that, pretty much. But despite all this, it didn't do all that well. So the best time I could get out of the Extreme E vehicle was a 111.729, so half a second slower than the TT that's at the same PI, and going by other PI numbers on the leaderboard, it is kind of lower than it should be based on that. But to be fair to it, it is designed for going off-road, not around a track, so I think we can kind of let it off that one. One thing I did notice about this car, though, is from this front angle, I keep thinking it's a Peugeot, partly because the way the Extreme E logo is, it looks like the Peugeot logo from a distance if you don't look too closely, and the shape of it kind of looks like one of those hideous Peugeot SUVs. So there weren't many upgrade options for the Extreme E, however I did fit it with all the best platform and handling parts, drivetrain parts, the widest tyres I could get, and the street motor and battery, which brought it to a nice A800, now producing 671 horsepower and weighing 1,591 kilos. I then took it for another 5 laps around the festival, although it set a rather disappointing 107.6. I was happy it got into the 107s considering it's an off-road vehicle, but it is the third slowest thing I've taken round that I've built to A-Class. So I then took it to the Baja for some rivals, thinking that would be more suitable for it, and it pretty quickly got into 900 and something's place, which I thought wasn't too bad, so I had another few laps, got to 500th, and then tried to get a little bit higher than that, but I found people were either using bone shakers or completely cheating, so I think that's about as fast as it's going to go around there. But there we go. That probably is going to bring an end to a look at the Extreme E Hummer, or they're all the same basically, the Extreme E vehicle here on Horizon 5. Drives nicely stock, was a lot of fun to race against the other Extreme E vehicles. Not that quick round the festival, unsurprisingly, because it's not a road car, and upgraded, it's not that fast on tarmac, as you might expect, and it's okay on dirt, managing to get me an okay rivals time, which I don't do very often, but I don't think it's going to be breaking any records, so it's not particularly fast. They're pretending 10 of them are new vehicles when they're all the same thing, so yeah. A bit of a disappointing update, this being the only new car really. We've got returning cars and all the other versions of this are the same, and it's not that good. So it's just as well we've got the Hot Wheels expansion, really, with plenty of cars that I'll be testing from that in the coming weeks. But for now, for a first look at the Extreme E vehicle, that is going to be all. Do let me know what you think. Do you agree that this update's a bit disappointing and this car's not great, or do you particularly like Extreme E? Do let me know. But yeah, reviews on all of the Hot Wheels cars soon, hopefully. But for now, for a first look at the Extreme E, that is going to be all. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back with the next video very soon.